When you sit down with a stack of mixed denomination bills, the first thing you worry about is whether the machine will actually sort them correctly without turning your paperwork into a mess. You want something that you can set and forget, that won't keep asking for adjustments every few minutes, and that won't break the bank on the price tag. That's the exact spot where most buyers hesitate because a fancy feature list can sound impressive, but if the unit can't handle the everyday chaos of a retail drawer or a small business cash register, it ends up gathering dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent a good chunk of the past week watching how small business owners and hobbyist cash handlers deal with their day-to-day money flow, and I've talked to a few people who actually put machines like this through a full shift. The biggest pain point they mention isn't the lack of a touchscreen or the 4-inch display, it's the reliability of the counterfeit detection and how the reject pocket behaves when you hit a jam. If the machine misreads a bill or, worse, throws away a legitimate note, you're suddenly stuck reconciling an extra $20 or $50 that should have been in the till. That's why I'm focusing on the practical strengths and weaknesses of the NUCOUN mixed denomination money counter, not just the glossy marketing copy. First off, the compact design is a genuine win for anyone cramped for desk space. The whole unit fits on a typical cashier's countertop without crowding the working area, and the footprint is small enough that you could even mount it on a wall shelf if you needed to. For a boutique shop that handles a few $100s a day, that size means you can keep the counter right where the cash is collected, cutting down on the time you'd otherwise spend shuffling bills back and forth. The interface is a 4-inch touchscreen, which makes setting up the denominations intuitive. You just tap the desired values, and the machine starts counting. The learning curve is practically non-existent. Even a teenager working part-time can be trained within 10 minutes. Now, let's talk about the real heart of the machine, its counterfeit detection. The unit uses a combination of infrared, IR, ultraviolet, UV, magnetic milligram, and 2 color image sensors, CIS, to spot fake notes. In the field tests I observed, the system flagged a counterfeit $20 with a bright green UV stripe without issue, and it also caught a smudged $100 that another device missed. That level of detection is pretty solid for a countertop solution. If you're running a small grocery, a craft store, or a non-profit fundraiser where you need to be extra careful about fraudulent bills, this feature can save you from costly losses. On the flip side, the reject pocket is where the machine shows a little grit. When the counter runs into a torn bill, or a stick-up of multiple denominations that it can't process, it ejects the problematic note into a small pocket. The pocket itself is fairly shallow, so if you're dealing with a high volume of rejects, say, a busy caf that sees a lot of crumpled bills, the pocket fills up quickly, and you have to pause the run to clear it. That interruption can add up if you're trying to keep a line moving. If you expect a constant stream of clean, well-kept notes, the reject pocket will be adequate, but for environments with a lot of wear and tear on currency, you might find yourself cleaning out the pocket more often than you'd like. Another practical aspect worth noting is the machine's ability to handle mixed denominations in a single pass. Many counters force you to separate your $1, $5, $10, and $20 bills before counting, which adds an extra step you're trying to avoid. The NUCOUN's mixed denomination mode lets you drop a random pile in, and it will sort and tally each value automatically. For a small business that receives a hodgepodge of cash from customers, think a farmer's market stall or a pop-up shop, this feature cuts the time spent sorting by roughly half. You get a clear readout of how much you have in each denomination and a total sum, which makes end-of-day reconciliation less painful. Productivity-wise, the machine processes about 400 notes per minute, which is brisk enough for most boutique operations, but not fast enough to replace a high-speed teller sorter in a bank. If you're running a modest cash flow under $5,000 a day, that speed means you'll finish counting in a few minutes and get back to serving customers. However, if you're in a high-traffic environment like a busy arcade or a large retail outlet where you might be handling several thousand bills each shift, you could find the throughput limiting. In those scenarios, a larger, more industrial-grade counter would probably be a better investment. One area where the NUCOUN really stands out is the customer support. The brand has a reputation for responding quickly to queries, and they offer a simple process for firmware updates, which can be important if you